Opening a US bank account while being a non-US resident and selling on Amazon can be a challenging task to do, but there are still few good options which you can consider. And in this video, you will learn about those options, or you will learn about different types of US bank accounts available to non-US residents. We will talk about neobanks like Mercury and Relay Financial, virtual banks like Vice and Payoneer, as well as traditional banks, physical banks. And we will also cover the requirements and application tips for each of these options. In some cases, when opening the bank account, you might need ITIN, which is Individual Tax Identification Number in US. If you want to get ITIN, check the ITIN service below. You get $50 discount with orange Klik coupon code. Also in the video description, you will find links to Mercury and Wise bank offers, the two banks we normally recommend for Amazon sellers selling internationally. Hello, Ugur. Nice to have you here on our channel once again. Today we will talk about opening bank accounts in US while you are not US resident and you are foreigner living somewhere outside, and what issues we might face. And before we go through the questions, could you shortly introduce yourself and how do you help foreigners in terms of US businesses?
Sure. First thing first, I'm very happy to be here again. Thanks again for giving me space on your platform, on your channels. Very nice to having the second video with you. My name is Uğur. I'm the founder of the ITIN.com. We're the leading ITIN provider. We help individuals to obtain their tax ID number, ITIN, which is the substitute of Social Security number in the US. I absolutely would be very happy to tell everyone all my experiences about how to opening a US bank account, which is a topic that we get also so many people that are coming and asking to us. Pretty much for me to kind of a little bit tell more about myself, we've been helping the non-US people for about 6-7 years. We help around 4,000 people in 150 plus countries. We have business formation services. We help people to open their tax IDs. We even help people to open their bank accounts, payment providers, and them to also continue their businesses, pretty much manage everything they need, like their taxes, their state renewals, all of those things that they require. I can directly hop into the topic of the bank account. Okay, so when I first started doing what I do, actually, back 2017, there were no option for non-US people to do bank accounts online. We were helping people with physical bank accounts with bank reps. It was something very nitty-gritty and very expensive and very complicated process. But I straight only started doing what I do with bank account. For example, if you go to my personal YouTube channel, Words of War, when you scroll all the way down, you're going to see my videos about those physical bank accounts from 4 years, 5 years ago. So the game changed after there were few companies that came to the market and they introduced themselves that allow non-US, non-American people without social security number to be able to open US bank accounts. Okay. Up until then, pretty much, if anybody wants to make a business in the US, let's say that I'm going to make a big business. I'm a manufacturer. I'm going to sell my goods to the US, or I'm just going to do an online business, or I'm an agency. They had to unfortunately do one thing: either go to the US, set up everything there, travel, fly, get the visa, be in that all of the hurdle, and open these bank accounts in the branch because of the KYC, know your customer rules. These banks, they have their regulations and rules. Or they were working with different companies that were helping them to pretty much get paid, and they were paying very high commissions. Okay. However, thanks to all those people that are just entrepreneurs in our age, that are mostly young people, that I would say between 25 to 35, 45, with this e-commerce world, there's a solution. There are a few solutions actually that allows people to use the bank accounts that is provided from these banks that I'm going to be mentioning. Okay. There are a few companies that are helping people to open bank accounts remotely. These bank accounts called as neobanks, aka a bank without a branch. So you cannot go walk into their office. They don't have a place in the US that you can go. However, they work with a big bank that is corporate, also small for the US, actually, not big. They are partners with them, and they provide banking for people that are abroad. These companies, most common one goes as Mercury, After Mercury, there is Relay Financial. After Relay Financial, there is Brex. Additionally, there are also easier companies. These are more virtual banks, which is like Wise and Payoneer. Okay, I'm going to explain about all of them. Pretty much, uh, these banks, they have their different terms and conditions. For example, out of this, the first three that I counted, the neobanks are the best ones. I would eliminate Brex first because Brex is unfortunately, unlike in the beginning that they started, they were accepting so many people. Right now, Brex is looking for people that have that raise funds, that go for VC, that's going to spend so much money. So unless you have it like when you apply Brex, you're going to see that they'll put your LinkedIn, we're going to get you back. They need to know that you have some PR, you have some like financials in your entity, you're a startup. So I would eliminate Brex first. So Relay Financial and the Mercury are the remaining other two banks. Mercury is the best one. Mercury is the most common one. Mercury is the one that accepts the most. I always say the best bank is the bank that you can actually get. So even for Mercury or other options that I'm gonna count, it does vary a lot. It does change a lot depending on where you are, depending on what type of business you have. Okay. Unfortunately, it's not the same for everyone that is like whatever location that you have. For some countries, restricted countries, it's even tougher, it's even harder. And that is where and when I'm gonna mention about the virtual banks, which is the Wise. Actually, Wise is also hard these days, but Wise and Payoneer. Um, we recommend Mercury first. If you want, you can also check the countries that they accept. You can always try Relay Financial too. Relay Financial have a great product, Relay Fi. But with the Mercury, that's the simplest. You can open multiple accounts within your account. You can issue different cards. It has very easy like accounting. It's very easy to create statements. The fees are good. Like it's you can do take a look at that. To open the Mercury, people do think like, oh, okay, like I set up my US company. First thing first, these are business checking accounts. These are not personal accounts, okay? And in order to apply to these accounts, you have an entity in the US. Okay, you cannot use your entity in your home country. You cannot go, you say like, oh, okay, like I'm from Lithuania, I'm from Morocco. Can I have a Moroccan company? But no, you have to have a US entity. So in order to set a US entity, there's so many options. There's like it's something easy to set, a few $100 with the state fees, everything, your tax ID number, EIN. You have to have the basics of the company, which is your company document that shows the company is owned by you. Um, Pretty much your EIN document, which is the tax ID of your company. Then you have to have also like your personal identification. The other thing I say, especially for Mercury, a lot of people are skipping on is having a website. So um, a lot of people try to apply Mercury without a website. We always do recommend people to have a solid website because at the end of the day, Mercury does check people on Mercury. After you finish your application, they say, oh, give us 2 to 3 days. They do take a look at the application. They see how serious you are with the application. A lot of people are just like filling out the sections very fast. Like they say, well, what's your business type? What do you do? What do you deal with? Try to write big sentences there. Try to explain as much as you can. Try to say like, oh, okay, like we are an online retail. Try to historize yourself as much. Okay. For example, like let's say you sell toys, you're a drop shipper. Hey, like we've been manufacturer of this brand that's been providing toys to these markets in these years, and we had over this customer. These are the main niches of toys that we provide. You do the like more, make it more professional and give more time in doing those applications. You have higher chance of getting accepted because a lot of people also say like, oh, okay, I have my US company, I have my EIN, it means I have my Mercury, it's guaranteed, right? No, it's not guaranteed. They may reject you. They're gonna verify. They're gonna review your application. There's still a chance of rejection. So in order to avoid that rejection, I do say to take your time with your application and write everything very well. Additionally, the website. I want to mention a few things about the website that are, I think, very important and so many people skip on. First thing first, the website that they're going to look, they need to know that it's your website. In order to provide it, always on the bottom footer, write your company name, write your business address, the business address that you're going to write on the bank account application. And if you like, address is also another topic I can mention later. Write your business address. Have your website as organized as you can. For example, let's say that you just sell one product, okay, X product. And don't be like the whole website is just that product, or they're products that are irrelevant to each other. Like, don't sell towels, gadgets, toys, and woman makeup stuff that you tried. When you do the application, let's say that you're trying to sell a toy, put 5 to 10 toys, okay? Put some categories, make it look professional. Try to fill out about us page. Write down a story. Say like in that story, try to mention your personal name, the founder's name, and your company name. Say like, oh, okay, this is Ali's company. That is that here, and we've been helping people with this, like as you write on the description of the application. About us page is important. If you do have a US phone number, try to put down your US phone number on your bottom footer again. These are the things that I would say that are important for the website. The more professional, the more organized it looks, the Mercury is going to be like, oh, okay, like these guys are going to have some good business. They're not going to have refunds. They're not going to have chargeback. They're not going to have dispute. So let's accept their business and let them be our customer. And they have a potential to do big. So we can have like, in our fees and our business as well. But if it's going to be like, oh, you do application in like 10 seconds, they're going to like, no, don't come to us. You're serious. You're not serious with us. You own an entity, you own a business in the US. So please do give her some time with your website and with your application. Um, One other topic, if I mentioned about address with Mercury, the good news is with Mercury, you can say that you are operating from outside of US, even if you're in a US entity. Let's say that you're an entrepreneur in the next country, in Africa, South America, Argentina, wherever. Just put your address in Argentina. They may need for an address approval. You can use the address approval you have for yourself individually, or you can make that address prepaid for your company. Okay, let's say that you're an address in Argentina, and you uh, you combine that address with the entity you have in Argentina. Once they're together, and once you apply with it like a document that can say that there's an agreement, like lease agreement that you can prepare internally yourself, or if you can get a paperwork from your bank, stuff like this, you can go through that address issue. Because address, unfortunately, they do want to know that you have an address and you're an actual location and a person, like more so. Not like a brick and mortar business, don't get it wrong, but they need to know that like where you operating. They ask you that during the application as well. Yeah, these are the most common things that just pops into my mind when making the bank account applications. You check what countries they accept. For example, we get a lot of people from Pakistan. They used to accept Pakistan, but very recently they don't. And for countries that are not accepted, some countries in Middle East, some countries in Africa, I do know like it's not fair, but like how it is. Um, the virtual banks would be easier, especially this before Wise was easier, but right now Wise is so strict. However, it doesn't take so much of your time, just like you do this application to Mercury or Payoneer, very non-wise as well. And those are the other two banks that I would recommend. Lastly, I also want to share about physical bank account. Okay, a lot of people come to us and say like, "Oh, I want Bank of America, I want Chase, I want Wells Fargo, I want TD." For those banks, you can do it if you have a budget, if you are able to visit US comfortably, if you have a visa, or if you're like, in EFTA countries like without visa, say you're European. Um, Once you're in the States, you additionally need to have a personal tax ID number. Even if you're going to open a business bank account, they're going to ask you either social or an ITIN. ITIN is a substitute. You can use your ITIN. Uh, Plus, the address is also might be an issue, but you most likely are gonna get well with using the address of your Airbnb or your, like, not hotel, but I would say Airbnb. It would be better if it's gonna be like a residential Airbnb that you find. If one branch, let's say you went to Bank of America, okay, you travel to the US. If one branch says no to you, go to another branch in the city and just try again. All branches, they're like kind of individual, and they may maybe say yes to you, depending on like, your communication with them and they see you and stuff. Um, I would also say try to open more than one bank account. If you open one Bank of America, additionally try to open go one Wells Fargo, just as a backup. If you keep on like $1,500, they're not going to have any monthly fees or whatever. So you keep the bank account in the pocket just in case, like more like a backup bank account. This is about the physical bank. One thing that I want to say: get ready to be able to visit US once it's required. most of the things you're gonna be able to figure it out and solve it with online with call mobile banking. However, there may be occasions they may need you to come to the branch. With a lot of things, they try to get you to the branch. They say that you wanna renew your account, renew your like online banking, login information, stuff like that, change your phone number, stuff like that. They do say, "Oh, come to the branch." So that is one thing that you should consider. If you have a very good person that you're in communication with, say it's a family member, let's say it's your partner in the US, try to get them open the account, which is better if there's anyone that has social. If they have social, by the way, they can open the bank account online as well without even going to the branch. But with ITIN alone, a lot of people also come to us. We do hundreds of ITINs every month. Unfortunately, if you have ITIN, doesn't mean that your Bank of America, your Chase, Wells Fargo is ready. Okay? They still need you to go to the branch. But if you're social, it's different. The other last advantage of visiting US and opening those big physical bank accounts, those bank accounts are going to be issuing a credit card, secure credit card to you. Once Bank of America issues that to you, they automatically get your credit score started in the US, which can allow you to have be able to reach to all those like big credit cards like Amex, Discovery One, Chase Sapphire, like these type of cards. If you're spending a lot of money on your ads, on your CPC, on your Amazon, whatever, you can use the perks. You can receive cashbacks. You can take advantages like when you're flying. You can go to the like lounges and stuff. It has a lot of advantages, and yeah, it gets your credit like credit history started right away once you have a credit card with a corporate US bank account. Well, these are pretty much like I know it's in depth, but I really try to like explain everything in detail. And I even if I go to kind of like a little bit fast, always do try to kind of like listen and like rewind back if you need. These are pretty much about the bank accounts and everything I can share.
And what about PayPal? Is it different a little bit, or what are the requirements for
With
US?
PayPal, yes, with PayPal, they have to have an SSN or ITN. For example, with Stripe, they can open with EIN. They don't have to have an ITN. It's not obligatory. But with PayPal, since you also use PayPal individually, you can pretty much use uh, your email, which is your PayPal ID, and receive funds. And like you're gonna have personal banking, personal PayPal with business PayPal as well. Even if you apply to PayPal with your US company in yen, you have to have ITN regardless, unless you have social. You have to have either one. But with Stripe, it's not necessary. However, I also always personally recommend that if you try to apply it to your Stripe account with your ITIN, it is better. It's better if you verify yourself personally, but you can get your Stripe only with company in the end as well. It's not necessary to have ITIN, but with PayPal, you have to have ITIN. Uh, I do know some people that opened their PayPals like years ago. I think it was kind of like the same with yours as far as I remember. And they say, "Oh, I was never asked." Uh, 80, like we do over 300 items a month. 80% of the people they come to us, they come for PayPal. Uh, yeah.
And the ATIN, like very shortly, what's the process? Is it possible to? I know you are providing this service, but in general, what's the structure of this application and how long does it take?
Sure, sure. Pretty much, ITIN is unfortunately a process that you cannot do it on your own. Okay, unless you're ready to go to the IRS office in the US or you're ready to ship your hard copy original passport to the US. If you're ready to do either one, you can do ITIN on your own. Or else, um, or you need to get your passport certified in a US consulate or an embassy. Either the three. Visit, ship, or get it apostille certified. In order to avoid this, like big people to be sending their passports, getting lost, going to the consulate, this and that. IRS had a program that's called Certified Accepted Agency, which we work with two certified accepted agencies, which are people that are going to be allowing you to do the application remotely, and they can see your identification document and they can provide a proper copy of your identity, which is a scan of your passport most of the cases. And thanks to the IRS certified accepted agents, you can get your ITN online, like with these services, service providers like ourselves. In order to do ITIN, you have to have a personal identification document. Most of the time, most of the case is passport. If you really don't have a passport, or if you can't get in the fast time, you have to have two IDs, not either, two of them together, which most of the cases is national ID and driving license. These are the required documents. Either two IDs together or one passport. You can do the application. And after you do the application, pretty much there's a form that's filled by this certified acceptance agent. You don't have to fill out this form. You just provide basic information to this form. If you have a US company and EIN that's used when applying to the ITIN, so you need to provide those documents as well to the service providers like ourselves or other certified acceptance agents. After you provide those information, there's a form that's filled W7, which is an official IRS ITN application form. And after this form is filled, the whole pack is shipped to the IRS again by service providers like ourselves. And after that, there's a waiting time. ITIN do take from like 6 to 12 up to 14 weeks. It totally depends on IRS workload. During tax season, IRS is way slower. It takes like 10 weeks and stuff. But these days, it takes like mostly 8, 9 weeks. And yeah, unfortunately, this is a process that does take time by the IRS, not to the extent that they just like service providers does the work fast and ship it, but IRS take time.
So if someone is planning to open a US company, so maybe they didn't open the company yet, but it's kind of useful to already start the ITN process because it takes, let's say, 2 or 3 months, and then
Smart.
yeah.
Because the company is going to be fast. Company takes about a week, right? EIN is going to take long. EIN is going to take around 25 to 30 days. If someone has company and EIN, which is going to be like over a month, so if they get them both together started, they can save a month.
And talking about US bank accounts, do you recommend, or it's not necessary to log into all these accounts with a VPN? I believe that these banks are smart and they know even VPN if it's like a home computer or it's like some cloud.
Sure. So, like for payment providers, right? Stripe, PayPal, selling platforms, Amazon. I say with these ones, try to use it for sure. I will extremely. I'm gonna explain one thing. I'm gonna differentiate VPN and VPS. Unless the VPN is dedicated, never use VPN.
You mean
VPN has to be dedicated.
dedicated IP
IP,
address that it's always
yes, to you. Yes. Otherwise, that IP that's provided in the VPN does change. A lot of people are using it. So like if you use that, it's gonna like red flag alarm. Or you can use a VPS, remote desktop connection, which is like you connect to another computer. There are companies in the US that they have their Amazon accounts. They run their Amazon accounts through their VPS just for the help of their account. These are Amazon accounts that are run by US people. That's like our recommendation. That's how I know it. That's how I've been seeing it. US people with social that are 100% completely based in the US by big businesses for their safety mostly. Yeah, either use a VPS or a VPN, mostly for the payment providers. But if you have one, if you put your US address during this bank account application, why not use for your banking as well? If you have a physical bank account, always use it. Otherwise, they're gonna be like keep calling you. Let's say you have a Bank of America account, you log in from your computer in, let's say, France, they're gonna press, oh, someone's logging in, confirm, send it to the OTP. And whenever you try to change something, like it does trigger their like security systems and stuff. But one dedicated IP that's straight from the US is always better.
Do you recommend any services or do you provide VPN service?
We do have VPS, annual VPS. Yeah, people can get it like with us. We charge like 198 a year, and it's pretty much like fast, and it does provide anything that people need. Uh, Besides, I know if they want to pay monthly, there's a website like ionos.com. If they try to Google it, they will find, or one. These two websites also like people can get monthly, if they don't want to get it like annually.
All right.
Yeah, pretty much very similar prices with us. Ours, by the way.
Mm. And your VPS service is possible to find on that ITN website, or it's a different website?
Yes, it's on our ITN website. On the checkout, it's like an add-on. They can't buy VPS alone. We provide VPS if they start their entities with us or get their ITINs with us.
Okay, good. And the ITN, so if somebody wants to work with you, they just probably go to your website. You will find the link below in the description, and like just follow the form, the process. And I know from my experience, you have very nice dashboard where you can see the progress, what's happening with the application, right?
One other thing that I also want to say to the people, any questions, anything you want to talk, Monday through Friday, 24/7, we have actual real live chat reps, not AI, not bots or anything. People do talk to you, answer your questions specifically for your case. Come and chat with my reps and ask them any questions that you have. And they will be answering and they'll be there for you. We even speak different languages. We're non-US founders, so we understand non-US the most. We help people with Spanish, Arabic, French, uh, and English. Yeah, so far.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Ugur. And those who want to sign up for the ITN number, check the link below for Ugur's service. And thanks a lot for sharing your insights on opening bank accounts and PayPal in US. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Bye.
I hope this video will help you to open a US bank account as a non-US resident. And if you need help getting ITIN for US banking needs, check out the ITIN services, the link below in the description. Use the orange Klik coupon code to get $50 discount. Also, below in the description, you will see the links to Mercury and Wise bank offers. These are two options, two banks we recommend and use ourselves. And if you have additional comments or questions, leave them in the comment section below. We will be glad to see what you think, to get your feedback. And now I recommend you to watch another video where you will learn more about the ITIN services. So check this out.